Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, July 8th, 2022. In the middle of summer. Market, what can I say? This poor market is having a whole lot of trouble getting itself up there. It's like a bird with a broken wing. It's just going to have to heal before it can fly. So I look at this market, I see nothing but overall the sellers having total control. I don't see the buyers having any lion's share of the control. They can certainly put together these little relief rallies that we see here in the market, but the overall trend seems to be the downside. Whenever we buy a trade or short a trade or enter a trade, whatever the trade may be, just go through a checklist and ask yourself, if you're long or if you're short, is it meeting those conditions for that trade? There's nothing wrong with a long trade right now, nothing at all, as long as it meets the correct conditions. Nothing wrong with a short trade, even in a bullish market, as long as it meets the correct conditions. And when it meets the conditions, then it might make sense to make the trade, but not till then. So anyway, as I look at this market, I just can't see anything past a couple of day trade until we show success over the 50 period moving average. I got hooked on this here several days ago because I saw, going through charts, I saw that we were closing the gap between charts, our price action, and the 50 period moving average coming together. In a good market, when you hear somebody talk about that, that really is a bullish scenario. That's a good thing when the market is overall bullish. When the market is overall bearish, it's not such a good thing necessarily. Not at all. In fact, just the opposite. It might be a bad thing, because as price moves up to a major moving average, and I believe the 50 is, then that's where price gets scared. It can't follow through. It just doesn't have the strength to push forward. So it just weakens up, quits, falls back down, and then we start that process all over again. So until we move over the 50 here, to me, it's just super cautious. Make sure those trades are exactly what you want. Qs are the same way. Qs are coming up, and we've got this top right in here. There's the 50. Unless we can get through, there's just nothing happening here. You can see right in here we broke out, and anytime we break out of resistance, I consider major moving average as resistance. What do we want to see? We want to see that breakout. Okay, great. We want to see a test, and we want to see follow through. And the follow through is over the high of where it broke out. And I mean, and again, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at some sort of a resistance line per se, or it doesn't matter whether you're looking at price resistance. It doesn't matter if you're looking at a major moving average. Anything there that can give you that blue ribbon for breaking out. Yay! Let's go. Now what we need is, the race is not over. The race is not finished. We need to take a little pit stop, and then we need to start that race back up. And once we get past that high, wherever that high may be, then that's a sign that the bulls just might. The takeaway word here is might. Doesn't guarantee that we're just going to go, 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 go. But this is the sign that they might have the energy to actually pull price out of the hole that it's in. Finish the race. So until that happens, I would be very cautious. If price was to pop down, say, and I'm a believer in that 1,000 period moving average. When that breaks, then we'll find something else there. But when this happens, when this happens, and I mean I still believe it will. It could happen in 1 day. It could happen in 10 days. It could happen in 20 days. Once we get there, we pull far enough away from the 50 period moving average, then I think we're going to fight. The bulls will fight and try to do this again. And they could fail. And they will continue to do that until they do that one thing, break out with success and follow through until that happens. So really doesn't matter what time frame you're looking on. Any chart can be looked at this way in a time frame. So anyway, lots of caution, trade careful. Lots of good looking stocks out there. Being Friday, I would welcome anybody to put yours out. We'll take a look at them. I certainly have a list of stocks, but anybody that has anything. Good morning, Fred, John, Mike, Chip, Joe, Gregor. How you guys doing? Steph, hope everybody's doing well today. So if you guys are looking for some stocks today, long or short, please post them out there. Let's take a peek. Take a peek. USO. USO Ghost setting up. Please, Thomas, make sure you declare setting up to go up or setting up to go down. Okay, let's not make me guess. So UPS, I would say you're looking at that long. UPS moving up. It is setting up. I like that. We've got a few things that's happened here positive, I think. Price over the 50 period moving average, 2 thumbs up. T-line over the trinicator over the 50, 2 thumbs up. It looks like we have space up to that 200 period moving average. I like that. And if you just draw a line right there, this is where my eyes go first. And then from there, my eyes looks at the whole picture. So that's where my eyes went. I look to the left and it matches up. So that to me is a good target area. So for about 7.5% here. Pretty nice chart. Thank you very much. Go. Go is heading up here. Beautiful trend. Trindicators above the 50. The 50's trending. Trindicators trending. T-line's trending. J-hook setting up. Looks fantastic. Let's look at the weekly. And what I'm looking at the weekly for, honestly, I don't follow the weekly so much. I'm a short-term swing trader. I admit it. I know it. I'm a junkie there. I rarely care what the weekly's doing. But what I do like to look at the weekly for is just to get when I look at the daily, that's all I can see. I don't know what overhead resistance is possible here. So let's just jump to a weekly. All of a sudden, oh my, look at that. So I'm looking at all this over here. Where do you want to put your line? You know, you could put a line here. You could have put a line here if you want. You can put a line here. That's a whole lot of lines. So now I go back to the daily and I'm thinking, how much, you know, how much caution do I want to put in this? How bad do I want to trade this up into this resistance? And maybe I do. Maybe I do. Every trader can do what they, however they trade. But I think it's important just to take a look at that so you can see that resistance. Love the chart on the daily, but look where it's headed. Look what's running into. So just keep that in mind. Beautiful chart on the daily. DV setting up. DV is DV's a rounded bottom breakout. Overall, look at that nice trend here. T-line above the trinicator's above the 50. Looks great. J-hook, price action. Looks like we're price action is beaten up on the dotted deuce, doing a great job. If we just trade with rounded bottom breakout rules, right there is 13.8% maybe to the 200. put a line in there. Look how we get right into that resistance area. That's what I would look at. Nice chart. Thank you. Let's see. Burr. It's cold. Burr. BUR. So BUR, a couple things I want to check here. The volume is not exactly what I would say is crazy on Burr. Not exactly. I'd be kind of cautious about that. This to me would be very untradeable. Could not trade it because the volume is so low. But outside of that, let's see what it's doing. Now let's do this. So let's just take this chart from the bottom, low to a high, higher low. We'll just go all the way that high. We come down here, create a higher low, higher high, higher low. This chart is doing everything you would want a bullish chart to do. Let's put a line right in through here because I can see all this. We've broken out, so we're doing great there. A lot of resistance right in here. You can see where we failed here with a shooting star. Nice bullish engulf. A bullish engulf, candlesticks are price action. That's all candlesticks are. Price action is painted by pictures of candlesticks. That simple. Price action is king. Candlesticks are king. If the king doesn't have an army, the king is worthless. So it's going to be important to see that follow through. The follow through is the army. We have this big old shooting star up here with a lot of this resistance. So right now, really the only trade that I could possibly put together here, maybe, is something about 6.8 cents percent. Does have an inverted hammer? Inverted hammer. Inverted head and shoulders here, if you're looking at that. It has broke the downtrend. I see a lot of good. I see a lot of bad. But number one, it has no volume. So here's my thoughts on that one. Anyway. Water. Ooh, thank you. Okay, so let's look at Oxy. Yesterday, there was a couple of people, I think, that bought Oxy. Oxy can certainly be bought here. I kind of like Oxy up here. I want to see Oxy prove itself. I realize it's on the news. I realize that it's a hot commodity. Everybody's pumping it, which that scares the crap out of me, to tell you the truth. And it doesn't matter to me who's pumping it. I heard Kramer pumping it last night. Buffett is buying it like it's going out of style. And that's okay, fine. But I'm my own trader. And I don't care what those folks do. Both those guys put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And I want to follow the chart. So I'm going to follow the rules. Here's the 50 period moving average. I see a fair amount of resistance right here. I see the possibility, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just see the possibility of you've got this shoulder, head, and you've got this shoulder. I'm not negative on Oxy. I'm just saying that I put my pants on one leg at a time, and I'm going to follow my trade. My trade says to wait till we move over the 50 period moving average and wait till we move over 64.55 and clear that shoulder area there, because the trade is not right in. I mean, it can be if that's what you want. The trade is not, get in. That's not the trade. Yesterday I asked, how many people think we can get up here to 98 or close to 100? A whole lot of people said yes. Well, at 51%, put your pants on one leg at a time. Don't follow all the hype, all the pump. Follow your chart. SOPHY. SOPHY looks great. I love what SOPHY's doing. Obviously, SOPHY could have been bought down here, and obviously you could have made money. And if that's your your rules, if that's your trade plan, then by golly, that's a trade. I believe right now, because of the way charts are dancing around their 50 period moving average, because of the way the market is dancing around its 50 period moving average, I think that's very, very important. So if I look at SOPHY here, one of the questions I think we have to ask ourselves is, where do we think SOPHY can go? This is important. So I'm looking at this on SOPHY. Resistance right here. I'm looking at resistance up here. I'm just looking where price has been, okay? So if I start at the 50 period moving average and I go up to that high mark, then there's 54% I can make in here. If a trader is so desperate that they have to buy it right here, you might have other problems, actually. Might have other problems. So, and it's okay if you buy it in here. It is. You just have to decide if that's the way you want to trade. Here's the way to decide if that's the way you want to trade. Okay? If your account has been growing, now I know, you know, that you've got losing trades in there. This is your overall account, not trade by trade by trade. But whatever you've been doing, if your account is growing, then keep doing it. On the other hand, if your account has been slowly being nicked over the past couple months or longer or weeks, well, stop doing what you're doing, because it's obviously not working. And there you have to make that decision. What is your trade plan? Going into a trade without a trade plan is insane. Following somebody into a trade without your own trade plan is probably more insane. And with that, I'm going to say everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here in about 25 minutes. And let's have a great Friday, okay? You guys take care. Thanks a bunch. See you in 25.